We have had some insane storylines already, but we are now looking for more. We go into our next upper bracket matchup, KZ, Altac, DRG.
Landing on top of the same roof, immediately saw them move away. And that's the same situation that what King Zero did against them. Just them physically being there for Angry
Day alone, it is enough, with some great stats here as well from production. 2.8 on the top end of KZ, 2.13 for Boom. Great cash out round, and KZ, yes, it was close, but they managed to make it work. So it's very clear that they are locked in. But our top 2 seeds for both Cycle 1 and Current are locking in. A last second change to HLL there. We sort of caught it on the back end into this matchup, Hyper. This is our second lot of head-to-heads for this 2 teams in particular. DRG taking on KZ. What is going to be the outcome? China v China, and 2 of our biggest hitters in Cycle 2 about to go ban for ban.
Not only just Cycle 2, Cycle 1 as well.
Yeah.
They've been heavy hitters throughout. LH1 coming into play. We didn't see it being used in the cash out. But bringing it into such a wide map that is Fengwai, it makes sense. I'm in my mind, I'm not sitting here surprised. I'm agreeing on that choice of weaponry. It would be picture perfect if it came with an invis as well.
Both lights opting to run for dash here on the side of KZ, but both heavies also for both teams running mesh shield, so no winches. Definitely locking in on trying to deal some of that damage. Sit behind the heavy with a mesh shield. Do as much damage as you can, especially running that double light. It's pretty much just a meat grinder if you can set up behind the heavy. But just a poke right now. In terms of what we can break down, Hyper, there's a lot to desire here. Gateway comes out for good rotates, and DRG, they've kicked it off. I mean, you've called it in terms of how the play has started at the moment. They have found themselves in a great position. They're moving awesome. They're doing those first initial vault fights in such a decisive manner that they are leading the charge right now. They've dictated the pace. They might get flanked here, though, if they're not careful.
We saw that King Zero try to apply pressure by noise. A little bit of tags, a little bit of presence, but DRG just brushed it off. They didn't think much of it. And that's the difference between a team that is comfortable and a team that's flustered. King Zero, once they get hype, we've seen it time and time again. They love this hype position. They don't move from it. DRG, they can play low. They're happy with fighting from underneath. This is a type of map as well. You can as well fight from underneath, create some amazing stalls, and still have good amount of cover when you're on the floor.
Plenty of time available. And still not really much in terms of altercations going on. We've got our first attempt at a steal here. Mesh shield comes up, and KZ might opt to actually go for a quick rotate. Indeed they have. It was a little bit of an attempted visual aggro. Some great damage onto Dim. The medium almost being taken out about as quick as he appeared. He's found. Now Schweib is the last alive as Boom falls. And KZ have very quickly flipped that on their head. They just hit the tap. Went through that gateway straight up into the air. Preset. They're going to get a free steal here as well as they lock in the third. KZ. It took a little bit of time, but after they started, there wasn't much stopping them.
No, you don't. You're not going to stop this train. Beautiful gateway. Timed perfectly. Great amount of damage that came through from it. And then your heavy can come and clean up. It's a picture perfect roll that you want to see amongst King Zero. And just as they spawn in, DRG will rotate to the center of the map, look towards the next vault, because they're aware this cash out is done and dusted. Is it a case that you want to be first to vault in this games? Because we've seen time and time again. The team that gets to this vault first is not the one winning the cash out. This is probably the most amount of steals we've seen in Cycle 2.
Well, clearly we haven't seen Cycle 2 previous to today. Anyway, he's not wrong.
T16,
It is a lot of
T16.
steals. It is a lot of steals. T16 did hold a lot for us, but it was very much more decisive in terms of the gameplay. Realistically speaking, yes, there is a lot more in terms of stealing going on here, but KZ, first to the vault, not the worst option. They're in a good position, and DRG seem to be sort of letting them have it, to be completely honest. They're not super close by. They are sort of playing for a little bit of denial in terms of the rotates. They want to lock in some kind of position, but you just have a gun. Taking that visual aggro, getting as much info as he can. His team are elsewhere, just waiting for their moment. Slightly off to one side necessarily, just sort of making a play. Gateway set. They might opt to go for a rotate deep into one side with that gateway rotation, considering they are running the double light. It is an option they have available, but maybe they want to try and draw DRG out for that first fight. They want to try and take some damage, maybe even an opening kill, and then they'll make their play. So what we saw them do in that previous vault fight while the cash out was happening, in the cash out while it was happening, they just needed that first kill, and then everything tumbled down and not much else happened after that for DRG. So maybe that's what we're trying to see them do here.
I love what DRG is doing. A lot of control up on the building, but I just saw this rotation coming in. So all of this is a ploy. All of this is a distraction while this is all going on. Guess what DRG is doing? They're closing up, getting close and personal because they want to engage the fight. Uni's been dropped quite early in this vault fight. And now if you're going to rotate, King Zero has to do it immediately. But I think they've lost the timing. They sacrificed the vault. I was going to mention how DRG had control of C. They could, if King Zero had rotated to A, they could rotate accordingly. Now they had control of C, they could quickly go back into it, but
It's
why
pivoted.
did Dim just move? Dim just moved. He gave up C, and that was a harder fight. My points are invalid. Why did you do that?
They almost had it locked in perfectly, mind you. That was a double rack. You saw DRG come down to go for that initial kickoff, and then as KZ get the revive, while DRG grab the vault, they go for that re-rack. They try and regain control of C so they can move that vault over with no problem. But KZ are then there to greet them. They now have to send a player off to go and retrieve that vault, which they have now done. Gateway has brought that vault back up to the roof, but DRG is there to collect it. KZ go to return it, and they're going to get the initial plug, as well as the heal and the initial kill as well. And they can just hold this totem for as long as they choose to, forcing a coin, as well as 20 seconds of dead time here for KZ, should they choose to opt for the coin, because they can't really do a great deal else. DRG has spotted one, and KZ's now going to have to play that waiting game. Losing that first player has hurt them a lot here, and that is a great little bit of footwork from DRG.
Only thing King Zero can do now is tag damage, try and see if they can force DRG to rotate off the building, drop them to a lower position. But at this range, it will be ridiculously hard. You'd have to get a lucky pick, particularly on one of the lights. That's the only time I see King Zero coming back from this and taking control, because DRG have nailed this.
To a T. We could see 3 vaults here, depending on how KZ manage to make it happen, if they make it happen. They got to lock in a couple of kills, though, or at least an important one. If they can get rid of the heavy, or even the medium, if they can take Dim out, that would be huge, but they opt to go for it again. They're trying to force them to come on down if they can. Dome goes up late and vertical to give them that bit extra time, but it's going to be the steel stick. They've had the dive on down, but no one really there to support. Yuli Rice is left alone to his own devices, but the lights now come to try and clean up. It's a mass exodus on the stairway. Yuli Rice finds one. KZ are looking for more. They have to chase. They follow the gateway up. They need to go for a steal soon, though, if they want to get it. Agan finds the second, spotted the third. They're dialing in on all that's left of DRG. Can they make it happen? He does. He gets the steal, and ultimately DRG have been felled. Our first seed at the end of top 16 isn't going to get through. KZ have locked in a second.
Sneaky, sneaky boys. Just slow and methodical damage. Just keep applying that pressure. Keep applying that damage. It's exactly what I said. You just need to keep everything control of everything. It was done beautifully. Methodical, methodical, methodical.
Very similar, mind you.
Again, because we just had that final cash out, it's the easiest one to remember. That vault going into it. King Zero had the vault, but